Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Scorpio. So, Scorpio, as usual, I'm doing a reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. So, Scorpio, it seems like you have an idea that you have kept for yourself in your mind, within your being, that you haven't dared to share with anyone. But I feel like right now, that you are in a cozy environment, an inviting environment where you have the possibility of sharing this idea with somebody. I feel like you do, and you feel like things are starting to take off, perhaps in a faster way that you envisioned or you imagined, because I feel like there is a lot of excitement and just connection to the idea. It's very personal to you, perhaps, or you are very devoted to it, or it's like it's something that touches you very deeply, right? So it's like because you haven't shared it yet, it's like you treat it as yourself or as your own in a very careful way, but also it is exciting to finally share it, right? Because it seems like, because okay, let me start showing you the cards because I feel like it's going to be easier. We're starting with the Knight of Wands, and the way that I'm seeing this Knight of Wands is, this light bulb here in the center of its helmet, right? So it's like this light bulb in your mind that I feel like came a while ago, and it's like every time that you think about it, you feel like there is this huge spark or this huge flame or this wave of excitement that just takes over you, and it is very enticing and intriguing, and it's almost like it lights you up, right? But you see here how there is this part in front of the mouth, right, that is shut. So I feel like this is an idea that you've had a long time ago, Scorpio, that you didn't dare to share or to speak it out loud, even speaking out loud to yourself, right? It's almost like this is something that you have only been living in your life, living in your mind, sorry. So it's almost like it hasn't really taken shape, it hasn't really come to life, right? It's only something that is alive while you are feeding this idea or feeding this flame inside your mind, but you haven't manifested yet. And it's interesting because we're ending here this reading with the manifestation card, right? The magician. But this magician isn't you. It's actually somebody else that is going to help to bring this idea to life. But it's like there is a little hiccup, right? There is a little, because I feel like of this, it's like the attachment that you have to the idea, or maybe it's about control, right? Maybe because you had the idea, you had the initial spark, you want to control how it's going to unfold. So it's almost like maybe you have been hesitant, Scorpio, to share this with anybody, or with, even yourself, right? Speaking out loud, because in your mind, it's almost like, you know that sensation. I don't know if you've had that. I have that all the time. But it's like when you imagine something, when you have this idea in your mind and it sounds or it seems very perfect, it's like you can envision every single bit. It's like it's very detailed most of the times. It's like it comes with a lot of momentum. But the moment that you start describing, talking about it, translating it with words, it's almost like words are not capable of um, transmitting all that you have envisioned, all that you received, perhaps, right? If this was like this enlightening moment that this insight came through and it felt very ready, right? It's like that type of idea that you don't have to keep on speculating or, you know, thinking about or improving in your mind. It's almost like the flame is there lit up, and it's almost like every single time that you direct your attention to it, it's already there. It's very bright already, right? It's ready to be used, to be expressed, to be manifested, but you haven't dared to speak it out loud or to speak it into being, right? But with this card coming next, the Two of Pentacles, the way that this Two of Pentacles was showing up was a one-on-one meeting, right? Because it's like an individual represented by one pentacle and another individual represented by the other pentacle. So I feel like this is a very, and this is like a view from above, right? So it's almost like I'm seeing two people sitting in front of one another, and you being one of them, obviously. So, but the other one, I don't, it's interesting because the way that they're coming through, it's like they are very open to listening to you, right? They are, it's like they are similar because it's like two pentacles, so it's almost like two of a kind. It's wanting to be something like that, right? It's like somebody that you feel just like this, it's easy to talk to, right? It's almost like if this is the first moment that you're finally going to talk about this idea, it has to be with somebody that you feel some sort of resonance, right? It's like because it's so personal, because the idea is so personal to you, it's almost like it has, you know, I'm thinking about my twin sister, right? So it's almost like somebody that you consider like a twin, right? And you know, maybe we're talking about twin flames. I don't go to that concept very often, but you know, if it's something that is in your imagination or in your field of, you know, words and concepts, it's part of your language, then, you know, perhaps that's the one, right? I feel like it's about the resonance, right? Who you feel comfortable talking about such a personal idea, because this is an idea, I want to say, that feels personal, feels like you want to control the outcome in a sense, but it's also not something that is going to it's not something intimate, and not it doesn't feel like something that is intimate about your past. It's not like sharing something about your past, right? It's not like sharing some sort of deep secret that you carry with you. This seems to be like an idea, an epiphany that came to you, and that it wants to be manifest, right? It wants to be executed. It wants to happen, to come to life, right? So it's something that you received either in a dream, in a vision, however you received it, right? So it's not something, yes, it could have been, you know, a long time ago. And yes, it's a secret in a sense because you haven't shared it with anybody, but it's not, it's personal in a sense that it's like you have some sort of attachment to it. So the only person that you feel comfortable talking to is this one-on-one, very protected and very welcoming energy, right? Because they're showing up here as the Emperor. They're coming in big, right? They're coming in with the Emperor. So it's something really, really, it's like, to others, perhaps this person could seem very intimidating or very, I don't want to say scary, but it's like they evoke some sort of aura of authority and respect. So it's like perhaps they are very well off in their business. They have a very, you know, established position in the market. But it's like for you, you feel some sort of resonance, right? So it's almost like maybe you don't know this side that, you know, intimidates others that well. It's like perhaps you know the side of this person that just resonates with you. So it's almost like that's the thing. It's like they are not somebody that is intimate with you, right? That's the interesting thing, Scorpio. This is so interesting about your reading. It's almost like things, the energy around your reading today, it's something that is really important for you. really, lights you up, but it's almost like it's coming through you. It's meant to come through you, so it's happening out there. And the one that you're sharing this with, it's like they are also supposed to be part of it. This is very interesting because it's like maybe you're not that intimate with this emperor, but you don't really know that side of their authority or their professional position, or it's almost like you just feel like they are going to be the perfect one that you share this with. I hope this makes sense. So, but okay, so the moment that you share this, because it's almost like you're coming in with the Knight of Wands. So you're coming in very excited, but it's almost like you stumble upon your words until you spill it out, right? Until you are fully talking about everything that you ever thought you were seeing or receiving. It's like, well, it becomes tangible, right? It starts growing, because the Two of Pentacles to me especially talks about the steps forward, right? So spilling your beans of this idea with this one, it starts growing, and it's like it has an exponential potential to grow, right? Because of the participation, the engagement, and I want to say how this emperor is embracing the idea. Because the way that I was seeing this was almost like, it's like they're surprised that you were keeping this for your, it's almost like they are honored that they were the chosen ones to have this information first, or to be the one that is going to listen this first, right? It's like there's something that it's like you're not just telling the idea, you're saying, listen, I have kept this from everybody, I haven't even dared to speak it out loud. And it's almost like they respect you for that, right? They it's like they embrace it even more as if it was theirs, right? The way that I'm seeing this is almost like they're surprised that you called them. They are honored. It's like they are embracing it. The way that I'm seeing it's like they are coming in with huge wings, right? Sometimes I see both the Empress and the Emperor as, just because of the shape of the image, it's like as wings, but wings this time hugging you, right? Embracing you. It's almost like they are unexpectedly happy to be part of this, to be part of this manifestation. And I feel like very, very quickly they say, let's go, let's do this, let's, it's like, let's start this already. The Ten of Swords here is just talking about the quick speed that this one has. It's like maybe they, because of their position, and that's part of the things that I feel like you're only going to see at the very end, because you don't, it's almost like them as a friend or as an acquaintance that you've met somewhere else other than where they exercise this authority power that they have. You see what I mean? So it's almost like knowing somebody at the gym, but not knowing exactly what they do for a living, right? And not knowing their power or their influence. You see what I mean? So it's like you are sharing this very personal idea that has the potential to grow beyond even what you imagined. But it's almost like they are going to be the perfect ones that you don't know until you know. You don't know until you see what they're capable of. And okay, so let me give you this warning in a sense, because the Ten of Swords, traditionally could bring some sort of suspicion to mind, because it's almost like the moment that you share this with them, it's almost like now this is no longer just yours, right? Now this is now that this has been shared with the Emperor, it's almost like they're saying, listen, not only I'm happy that you shared this with me, and I'm honored that you chose me to share this first, but I'm so happy and so excited to be part of this that I am going to treat it as my own idea. And I feel like at first it's almost like you're thinking like, oh my God, what have I done? Like opening Pandora's box, right? Maybe I shouldn't have spilled the beans with this one because you didn't know their influence. You see what I mean? So it's almost like you were, not that you were naive, it's almost like you held this for so long that you could no longer hold it inside, right? It's like, and I want to say there is magic coming in the manifestation of this idea. It's just that you haven't seen it yet, right? But that's coming in the bottom row. But let me finish the Ten of Swords here. Yes, there is a little bit of a suspicion just because maybe you're surprised by how well they are receiving this, right? And it's almost like they are embracing even with more excitement that than you showed before, right? It's almost like they are doubling that or tripling that. They are just making the idea that you already were so excited about even bigger. And it's almost like they are saying, listen, this can grow to this and this and that, right? So it's almost like it's beyond you now. So I feel like that's when you have this freak out moment. And I feel like it's temporary because it's like they want to know more, right? The Ten of Swords to me is representing the shared idea. Now that you have spilled the beans, now that you have communicated, because the swords here is just talking about the communication, right? Is the air element through which it's like where the words are flowing, right? It's like now things are out there. Now you have spoken this out loud. So now things are flying in a sense, right? But flying and wanting to take off to a higher level because of the reach of this emperor, right? It's like they have bigger wings that you didn't even know about, that when they embrace your idea, it's like they are going to take it to even a higher level than you imagined, right? It's almost like if you thought that the idea was already ready, right? It's like with them, they're taking to the next level, but they want to know more about your idea, right? Because here we have the Ace of Wands. So it's like they want to see it all. It's almost like whatever you have inside your mind that you have been, working on, and it's not like you have been perfecting it. I want to adjust that and correct that, because remember what I said, it's like you receive this idea and it's come to you ready, right? It's come to you with all the details, or at least like the essence of it. It's ready. There's nothing to be touched or corrected or adjusted, right? So, but every time that you revisit that idea, it's like it ignites in you again the same feeling of excitement, right? And like maybe this awe, right? It's like, wow, how did I get to receive that? It's so amazing, right? But here, the moment that you start talking about it, it's almost like they're so ready to embark on this idea with you. It's almost like they are part of this conversation and they're asking questions and they want to know more and they're so engaged, right? It's like they already feel part of it because it's the shared path, right? With the Ten of Swords. So it's like they want to know more about all of the intricacies, all of the details, how it came to be, how it came to you. So it's almost like they are going straight into your mind, right? They're going to the core of the idea, right? See here how this is, at first this was just in your mind, but once it's out there and you started taking, the steps by sharing this idea with this emperor, it's like it's out there in the open. It's no longer just in your mind. So it's like it's there available for analysis, right? Especially like a very meticulous analysis from this emperor. It's almost like they are already seeing the value in this, right? It's almost like they have like the eye, and maybe because of what they do professionally and that you didn't even know. So it's almost like I want to say they have the resources that you are not aware of, right? But at first, as I said, because there is this Ten of Swords, and because here it's the Hanged Man, I feel like at first, because perhaps this is going to happen very, very quickly, it's almost like maybe because the way that I'm seeing the Hanged Man, it's like somebody that is fishing your idea, right? And taking for themselves. So it's almost like for you, well, what they are emphasizing is, let's do this together. Let's, develop the conversation. Let's continue talking about this, right? The shared path. This is what they are emphasizing. They're saying, I'm embracing this, but this is ours, right? A shared path. But it's almost like here, you invited them to talk about this. And once they know about this idea and they see it out in the open, it's as something that they can, analyze from different angles, right? The way that I'm seeing this is almost like now that it's out in the open, it's like the idea is there for them to circle around, right? And see from every perspective. But for you, it's almost like now maybe they're taking the lead, right? Because it's like, the way that the conversation is going, perhaps it's like it appears to you as if now they are taking the lead, because I want to say there's something about their whatever they do that you're not privy to gives not only the authority that could intimidate others, but it's almost like a leadership position, right? So it's like they are managers, they are, coach, whatever they do. I don't really know, like different professions that could lead, right? Maybe they are the owner of a big firm, you know what I mean, right? A head of a board of whatever, directors or anything. It's like they have a leadership position, and because of that, it's like they know how to conduct a conversation to make things grow. You see what I mean? When they see the potential. So for you, it's almost like they are scooping the idea from your mind now that you have, because again, you were protective about this idea, right? You haven't dared to speak it out loud until you found this one that, embraces it wholeheartedly, but also maybe they do have also other interests. Maybe they have profit in mind or something like that. Or it's maybe they're saying that this is as important for you as it is becoming important for them, right? Because they're seeing also the potential. So it's almost like maybe it's also personal to them, right? Maybe your idea touches them in such a personal way as well, that now it's like they are being inspired by you, and now it's like they're wanting it for themselves, right? So this is how you're feeling with the Hangman. It's like they're scooping it out of you, right? With every single question that they are making, it's like they are taking it from your brain, right? Something that was kept private in a sense, or kept inside of you for so long. Now it's being brought to the outside, right? But perhaps you feel like that's, fishing some sort of idea from the depths of your own mind, right? And so for you, it's almost like you want to slow down, right? Because there is a contrast between the Ten of Swords and this Hangman, right? It's almost like here they want to speed up, right? The way that I'm seeing this, it's like they have the power, the authority, the knowledge, the wisdom, the resources, the access to embrace it and just make it happen very quickly, right? This is how I'm seeing this speed of the wind, speed of, the air in a sense, which could be a gentle breeze, right? Now that I'm saying the speed of wind, it's almost like it doesn't need to be a hurricane, right? Even though they could open immense doors, I want to say, right? It's almost like they're pushing aside all of the resistance, all of the barriers, all of the obstacles, because they have like a privileged access to something, right? And this could go very quickly, happen very quickly, right? So, but what you're saying, it's like, but wait a minute, this is my idea. Like I want to have some sort of control upon this, right? So it's almost like all you want to do, it's like slow down. It's almost like you are the one suspending the engagement of this emperor and saying, okay, yes, I know that we can, make this happen tomorrow or even today, but let me think about it. There is a lot that I need to think about. So what they are saying, to make sure, I want to say that their participation, that their influence, that their engagement is one that is always going to include you, even though they are taking the lead. It's like they want to emphasize the fact that because you initiated this, it's like it's your idea, but they can make it grow to a bigger thing, right? To become something more that you didn't imagine, because of the power of this emperor, right? But they want to emphasize the fact that you're in this shared path together, right? Because the magician coming next, the way that I want to say that they are showing up, it's almost like this. You approach them saying, listen, I have an idea that I feel like you are going to resonate with, and you're the one that I feel comfortable sharing this first ever, right? The way that they scoop the idea from you, the way that they make questions and then show interest, show their engagement, it's like it's bringing to the light outside of you some sort of idea that is ready, right? The flame that is already lit up. But the moment that you ask them to slow down and it's almost like, it's like they have asked many questions and you have answered everything that you could to expose this and bring this out of you, right? But now that it's becoming, something real very fast, Scorpio, it's like you're asking them to slow down because you need to think, you need to process, you need to feel into it. It's almost like you need another perspective. And I feel like their answer, their response, and very quickly they respond to your hesitancy or to your reluctance to make it all happen very quickly, right? It's like they still want to manifest this with you, right? Because it's the magician that manifests. It's almost like you ignite something in them that already sparks something very, very big. And I feel like the way that they envision this is almost like some things that it's like, because you don't know who they are in their in other aspects of their life, it's almost like you don't know exactly what they can do with the idea that you are starting, right? So it's like you're lighting up this flame for them that is wanting to manifest in a very, very big way, in a very magical way. But sometimes I see this magician, or most of the time I see the magician as keeping things unseen, right? Keeping things under this hat where you can only see a few glimpses of magic. And I feel like this is their invitation once they feel your hesitancy, right? Once they feel that you're a little bit reluctant, the more that they show their excitement also. It's like, so their answer is, let me show you some things that I can do that you don't know yet. Right? Let me show you my magic. Let me show you my power to manifest things. So this part of the reading ends here with the magician inviting you into their world, because remember, you invited them to a personal one-on-one meeting, right? So they are coming to you, and now it's time that you go to their world. I feel like we'll see what comes up in the extended, but it's like there's something that they want to show you, Scorpio, that you don't know yet about their power, their influence, their resources, what they are capable of, right? So it's going to alleviate, I want to say, first of all, maybe the suspicion, and also maybe the sensation that they are taking that from you and leading the way in something that is too personal, right? So yeah, maybe if you're not feeling as comfortable as you were in the beginning because you still want to have control over how this idea unfolds and develops, it's like allow them to show what they can do with the idea, right? How they can manifest it in a very magical and powerful way, right? So this is a long one. Scorpio, I'm going to pull more cards for you, and also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes in the extended. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.